in the last day, okay, men will be lovers of self, lovers of money, and lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. So this isn't new. This is some age-old stuff. It's just being intensified here. And by the way, those three things, lovers of self, lovers of money, lovers of pleasure, that's the three main things going on. Humanism, lovers of self; materialism, lovers of money; and hedonism, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. So how in the world do we respond in a culture? Kids are growing up in a culture that is basically saying, me first, money first, pleasure first, and everything else in a distant fourth position. How do you do that? I want to wrap this one up by just giving you a couple things as a dad, as a grandfather, as a pastor, as a person that worked with teenagers and people that work with them for 20 years, okay? The role of parents, or in the absence of parents, the role of people who care about kids is to ask the question, what should they learn from family? What should they learn from mom and dad? What should they learn from people that care about them? And here's three things: relationships, character, and values. Relationships at home is where you learn how to resolve conflict. You learn how to connect. You learn how to do affirmation instead of tearing people down. Relationships are built early and modeled in the home. Second is this: character. Character is the sum total of your values and your habits, okay? Kids learn what to value and learn good habits by seeing it at home and modeling, especially early on. And as they get to be adolescents, then you inject all kinds of other experiences and models into life that'll back that up, okay? Relationships, character, and the third one is values, okay? I had a parent say to me a while back, well, I'm not going to impose my spiritual values on my kids. I'm going to let them decide for themselves. To let them decide for themselves is to let media shape them, because that's the goal. Okay? And one of the things every parent should do is this: should make a list of values that they want to build into their kids and be intentional about that. If you're looking for material on this, Corey Robertson from Duck Dynasty wrote the best book on developing values in kids I've ever seen. Okay? And it's called Strong and Kind. And what she did, her dad was amazing. And her dad, they had a family charter. And every vacation, they took out their family values and they read those at the end of the vacation. And then they said, is there anything else? And she said, we just kept adding values. And when she was raising her own kids, they decided, we're going to parent intentionally. We are going to shape these kids. We're going to shape their values. And of everything, what do we want our kids to be? And it was brilliant. She said, when it all came down to it, I want to raise kids that are strong, and I want to raise kids that are kind. That kind of intentionality brings some great results, okay? One of the things we did in our home was this. We pretty much were like, one of my values I wanted to build in was no whining, okay? And so we actually had a rock in the backyard. We named it Whiny Rock. And so whenever one of our kids or more were whining, no matter what the weather was like, I went, okay, out to Whiny Rock. Oh, man, we take them out and say, look, you can't come back in until you have a good attitude. Okay? And they'll be in years of therapy because of this, but they would be out there and they'd come back in. I'd say, oh, you don't look happy enough yet. You're still whining, back out. Okay. Whiny Rock, we still talk about that, because I wanted to raise kids that were fundamentally positive, life-affirming kids. Now the only person that gets sent to Whiny Rock is me. Okay, they send me out there all the time.